सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिते नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. So continuing our study on the third chapter, which is entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So we'll see the next section today. After Krishna's all incarnations have been explained by Srila Sudha Goswami, he discussed the Virat Rupa or the Vishwa Rupa. And what is so fascinating about the Virat Rupa or the Vishwa Rupa? Why he has to mention this Virat Rupa or the Vishwa Rupa after all these incarnations? Why Srila Sudha Goswami mentions all this Virat Rupa or Vishwa Rupa? I'm asking all of you. We have studied this. देवर्षि प्रभु आपने पिछली 2 क्लासेस सुनी या नहीं सुन पाए?
नहीं सुना था।
पढ़िए। कल आप भागवतम जरूर ले लीजिएगा, इंग्लिश के लीजिएगा।
यस प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा। Yes, Pradeep, why Krishna Virat Rupa is spoken by Srila Sudha Goswami here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This form is actually mainly for the material world. So the devotees are not attracted to this Virat Rupa.
So, but then why did he speak? The devotees are not attracted. Why is he speaking? Why is he discussing? Please reply. Devadatta, what is the purpose of speaking about this Virat Rupa or the Vishwa Rupa? Why Srila Sudha Goswami is discussing this form?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So in this sloka, Sutta Goswami is telling that those who are not in spiritual platform, they cannot perceive the transcendental form of Lord. So to attract them, they can understand this this Virat Rupa of Lord, which is actually not material, but means it is kind of material. So they can perceive that, and they will be easily attracted to it. So Lord showed this Rupa, and he is discussing about this here.
Yes, partially you were right. You have spoken. Why? Because those who are neophyte, those who are not spiritually advanced, they cannot appreciate the transcendental form. They have a conception of form, which is of matter. So for them, Srila Sudha Goswami is speaking this form. Okay. So we'll go ahead from verse number 35 onwards. Evaṁ janmāni karmāṇi hi akartur anjasya cha varṇayanti sma kavayo veda-guhyāni hṛt-pateḥ. So, evaṁ janmāni karmāṇi. Thus, the learned men describe the birth and activities of whom? Akartur. So, Krishna does not perform any karma. So, he is akartur. So, the learned men describe the birth and activities of the unborn. Unborn is ajanasya. Ajanasya. It will be ajanasya. Which were undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. Learned men describe the births and activities of the unborn and inactive. Varṇayanti. Varṇayanti means to describe or to glorify or to narrate, which is veda-guhyāni. Guhyāni means which is very confidential or which is very secretive, or which cannot be even described by the Vedas. So what cannot be described by the Vedas? The birth and the activities of the Supreme Lord, which cannot be even described or discovered by the Vedas. But those who are learned men, those who are experts in devotional path, they explain about it. Both the Lord and the living entities are essentially all spiritual. Therefore, both of them are eternal and neither of them has birth and death. What is the outstanding property of the soul which is described in the second chapter? Which verse is this? That is eternal and has neither birth nor death. Which verse is this? बोलिए. What is the verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Yes, Ramya.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Hare
प्रभु जी,
Krishna.
न जायते व म्रियते व कदाचित् नायं भूया भविता न.
You are all together in one area, in one apartment?
Yes, प्रभु जी.
Achha. Na jayate. Jayate means to take birth. Mriyate va. So which does not take birth, there is no question of death. So na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyo. Neither in the past nor in the future. Why? Because it is ajo nityam shashvatoyam puranam. Na hanyate hanyamane shariri. So what is the similarity? That both are eternal. Both are individual. But what is the difference? If both are eternal and both are individual, but what is the difference? Not clear. Boliye, what is the difference? This is what the impersonalist said. Soham. We are also the same. Yes, Sonika? Unmute and speak. Unmute and speak.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, so super soul is residing in all of the hearts. Means wherever the soul is there, along with that super soul is present. But soul itself is just solely present. Means it is not.
No, it is
present
not
in-
describing. See, it is not Prabhupada's purport is not comparing the super soul. He is comparing the Bhagavan feature. That both the jiva and the Supreme Lord Bhagavan, they are both eternal, both does not have birth, and both does not have any death. They are both eternal, they are both individual. So far it is correct. Both are eternal, both are individual. But is the living entity and the Supreme Lord the same? What is the difference? Where is the difference?
Soul is just the part and parcel of the Bhagavan feature or the eternal Lord.
No. It is part and parcel, that is true. But what is the difference? That is abheda. Abheda is that both are shashvat, both are ajanma, and for both there is no death. But what is the bheda? This is abhed. What is the bhed? Yes, Ramya, boli.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, qualitatively they are same, but quantitatively there is difference between Jiva and Lord.
What is the difference?
Lord is present in everyone's heart.
So that is super soul. We are not talking this is a super soul feature. A very basic philosophical understanding. What is the Veda? Yes, there shall bro.
Prabhuji, nitya nitya nam chetana chetana nam ekaju bahunam vidharati kaman.
Yeah.
So the Supreme Lord to fulfill the desires of the living entities.
Yeah. One is supremely independent, chartheshu abhigna swarata. He is Vibhu. He is supremely independent, and he is the one who maintains everyone else. But the living entity is completely dependent. And he is Anu. Okay, let's go forward. The difference is that the so-called birth and disappearance of the Lord are unlike those of the living entities. This is another difference, Srila Prabhupada said, which is janma karma cha me divyam. This is also to be remembered. That where is the Veda? Veda is in appearance and activities. The living beings who take birth and then again accept death are bound by the laws of material nature. But the so-called appearance and disappearance of the Lord are not actions of material nature, but are demonstrations of the internal potency of the Lord. They are described by the great sages for the purpose of self-realization. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord that his so-called birth in the material world and his activities are all transcendental, and simply by meditation on such activities one can attain realization of Brahman and thus become liberated from material bondage. In the Srutis, it is said that the birthless appearance appears to take birth. The Supreme has nothing to do, but because he is omnipotent, everything is performed by him naturally, as if done automatically. As a matter of fact, the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his different activities are all confidential, even in the Vedic literatures. Yet they are displayed by the Lord to bestow mercy upon the conditioned soul. What is the mercy which is bestowed on the conditioned soul? Here Srila Prabhupada is saying that the appearance and disappearance and his different activities are all confidential, even to the Vedic literatures. Even the Shrutis or the Vedas cannot know him. Krishna speaks in the 10th chapter. He speaks about the confidentiality of his appearance and his origin. What is the verse? 10th chapter. Should be, well versed with all this. We have studied Bhagavad Gita. Today, one devotee in our temple gave a class. Young devotee, and he gave a very wonderful class. He prepared very well. So after the class, I, complimented him and congratulated him. And he told me, Prabhuji, that we see how all of you are preparing. So we are also very much inclined to prepare. And then he was speaking that he stayed with me for some time in the room when I was staying in the common room. For the first 10 years in my ashram life, I stayed in a common room with 4 more devotees. We were normally 4 to 5 devotees in that room. Pranav is not here today. Pranav today asked me that I have to go for a training, and in that training session, I will have to share the room with 3 other people. So how do I manage a new situation? So anyway, so he quoted many verses and many songs, Vaishnava songs. They were very inspiring. So we should know Bhagavad Gita now very well. So whatever Prabhupada is speaking or whatever we speak, it should be backed up by evidence, by pramana. And the pramana is the Shastra pramana. And the best pramana for us is to have clear conviction from what Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita. So here it is being said that the appearance and the activities of Krishna are so confidential that even the Vedic literatures, the Shrutis, do not know. What to speak of ordinary people? Where is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Anything and everything from the purport, everything is there in Bhagavad Gita. Now we can see, gradually by mercy that what Prabhupada is quoting is in the purports. Prabhupada, actually, if you see, this is the expertise of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is not giving his own purports. Prabhupada is quoting Krishna only in his purports. That is why Prabhupada said that I never gave this purports. These purports are given by Krishna himself. And we can see how extraordinary purports are these, because Prabhupada is quoting the authority of Krishna, what he has already spoken in Bhagavad Gita in these purports. Which verse is this? Bolo jaldi, bolo bhai. You should study. Otherwise, you should continue to study Bhagavad Gita. Don't think that we have studied Bhagavad Gita and we know Bhagavad Gita. No. It has unfathomable depth. Today we were discussing, that devotee was discussing with me after the class, that today is Makar Sankranti. Today is Makar Sankranti. And on Makar Sankranti, one of the auspicious event was that Bhishmadev, he left his body, and he went to the eternal abode of the Lord. From today, Uttarayan begins. So he was asking me after the class, Prabhuji, that anyone who dies in the Uttarayan, will he go to the heavenly abode or to the spiritual world? I said, how is this possible? It is never possible. 50% of people in this world will die in Dakshinayan and 50% will die in Uttarayan. So whoever is dying during the time of Uttarayan, they will all go to the spiritual realm. That is not possible. Now, what is the answer? Who knows? Who will go to the spiritual abode or go towards the heavenly planets? Based on Bhagavad Gita, who will go? What is the qualification? We should be knowing. Otherwise, again, there is no substance. बोलो पुरुषोत्तम, कुछ ध्यान है? पहले तो ये बताओ, जो प्रभुपाद जी परपोर्ट में पूछ रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं कि एक्टिविटीज और अपीयरेंस इतनी कॉन्फिडेंशियल है कि इवन वैदिक शास्त्रों को नहीं पता है। कहाँ भगवान ने कहा ऐसा कि कोई नहीं जानता?
तो भगवत गीता में जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम,
वो तो हो गया, वो तो 10 बार डिस्कस कर लिया। अब ये हम purport पढ़ रहे हैं ना, we are studying this purport where Srila Prabhupada is saying, see, we have attention. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord. Okay. The Shruti said that the birthless appear to take birth. Appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his different activities are called confidential. Even the Vedic literatures, this is not even known to this is confidential even to the Vedic literatures. So why Krishna is saying that his activities and his origin cannot be understood by anyone. Yes, Dayashil Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yeah.
नामे विदुषर्गणा प्रभवन्तु महारथ अहम आदि ही देवानां सर्वस्व कुशल।
Very good. This is the right answer. Krishna says, Name Vidu Surgana. Open the verse 10.2, Manoram Prabhu. So Krishna is emphatically declaring that Arjuna, I am bestowing this mercy upon you. What you are witnessing is so rare and so confidential that even the best of the demigods, Name Vidu, they cannot be known even by the Surgana. Surgana means the demigods. And Prabhavam, his origin, Na Maharshiya. So one may say, okay, the demigods cannot know because the demigods are very much inclined in Bhoga and Aishwarya. Krishna has already declared that in the second chapter. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasakta Nam Daya Prit Chetasam. But what about the Maharshiya, the Maharishis? They are not into Bhoga. They are very much performing austerities and renunciation. So Krishna says that also does not qualify for them to know me. Name Vidur Sarugana, even the best of the demigods cannot know me. And even of the most advanced and ascetic sages, they cannot know me. What? Aham Adir Hi Devana. That I am the source, I am the origin of all the demigods and all the sages. Maharshi Nam Cha Sarvasha. Go to the translation. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence. So origin is what? His appearance. And opulence is Krishna's activities, janma and karma. For in every aspect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. So Prabhupada is saying here that even the demigods and the great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this teeny planet? No one can understand why the Supreme God comes to earth as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. One should know then that scholarship is not the necessary qualification to understand Krishna. Even the demigods and the great sages have tried to understand Krishna by their mental speculation, and they have failed to do so. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also it is clearly said that even the great demigods are not able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can speculate to the limit of their imperfect senses and can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of something not manifested by the three qualities of material nature. Or they can imagine something by mental speculation, but it is not possible to understand Krishna by such foolish speculation. Okay, so close it. So it is so rare. So how we can know? We can only know because of the mercy bestowed. by his pure devotees. Yet they are displayed by the Lord to bestow mercy upon the conditioned soul. Mercy is to attract them. We should always take advantage of the narrations of the activities of the Lord. What is the narrations of the activities of the Lord called? What is narration of the activity of the Lord? Prabhupada is saying we should always take advantage of the narration of the activities of the Lord. What are the narrations of the activities of the Lord? Devashish? What are the narrations of the activities of the Lord? हिंदी का पुस्तक है आपके हाथ में?
जी बोलिए।
क्या लिखा है हिंदी में?
जन्माष्टमी जी।
पढ़ो तो सही। You are spaced out. Don't know where the verse is and where what we are discussing. Yes, Dayashil bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Leela.
Leela, yeah. It's simple. It is Krishna Katha. What is Krishna Katha? Description of the narrations of the pastimes of Krishna. And where it is found? In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Simple. So hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Very important aspect is the hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So we should always take advantage of the narrations of the activities of the Lord, which are meditations on Brahman, is the most convenient and palatable form. Next verse. Sava idaṁ viśvam amogha-līlaḥ sṛjaty avaty atti sajjate smin bhūteṣu cāntarhita ātma-tantraḥ ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ jighrati ṣaḍ-guṇeśaḥ. A very beautiful description. Sava idam viśvam amogha-līlaḥ. Amogha-līlaḥ means that which is spotless, which has no flaw. The Lord whose activities are always spotless. Sava idam viśvam, whose pastime which manifest in this world, idam viśvam, in this manifested universe. He creates the manifested universe, that is called sṛjaty. Sṛjaty means creation. Sarga is creation. And avaty, atti means maintenance and annihilation. So three principles: creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So he creates the manifested universe, maintains them and annihilates them without being in the least affected. Na sajjate smin. Na sajjate means he is not affected. What he is not affected with? With these activities of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Bhūteṣu cha cāntarhita ātma-tantraḥ. Bhūteṣu means in all the living entities, in the living beings. So Krishna is cha cāntarhita and ātma-tantraḥ. He is within every living being and he is always independent. Ātma-tantraḥ means he is always self-independent. And ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ, endowed with the potency of 6 opulences. So it is said he is the master of the 6 senses and is fully omnipotent with 6 opulences. ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ jighrati ṣaḍ-guṇeśaḥ. ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ means he is endowed with the potencies of his opulences. That is, what are the ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ? What are the 6 opulences? Yes, Sonika?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, knowledge means intelligence,
Yes.
and beauty,
Yes.
and appreciation, wealth,
Yes.
and power.
That is there, na? Strength means power.
Yeah, strength. Yeah, strength is power. And
Renunciation. Vairagya.
nutrition, yeah.
You remember the verse. You should memorize the verse. What is the verse? So it will become easy. Who remembers the verse? You should be knowing the verse. Everyone should know this verse. What is the verse? Parashar Muni is describing the definition of Bhagavan. Very famous. Yes, Ramya?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य यशस्य वीर्यस्य श्रेय
Yeah. Aishwarya
ज्ञान
samagrasya veerasya rasasya shriya. Aishwarya samagrasya. So he has the complete opulence. He is the reservoir of complete opulence. And what are the reservoir of complete opulence? Veerasya yashasya shriya. Then, what is the next line, Ramya?
हरे कृष्ण ज्ञान वैराग्य
Yes. So in this way, you can remember. So he is the reservoir of all 6 opulences. Aishwarya samagrasya, veerasya. He has complete strength. Yashasya, he has all fame. Shriya, he is all beauty. Aishwarya samagrasya, veerasya, yashasya shriya. Then he has jnana, all knowledge. Then he has vairagya. So in this way, the 6 opulences you will always remember. Okay? So find out that verse, write it in your shloka book, and download it in your memory chip, not to forget. So he is within every living being and he is always independent. He is very beautiful words which are explained. It is ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ. He is endowed with the potencies of his opulences. The 6, ṣaḍ means 6. ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ means he is 6 opulences. And he is ṣaḍ-guṇeśaḥ. ṣaḍ-guṇeśaḥ also means he is the master of the 6 senses. Prabhupada quotes that first, the Lord whose activities are always spotless. Spotless is amogha-līlaḥ. He is the master of the 6 senses. That is ṣaḍ-guṇeśaḥ. And he is fully omnipotent with the 6 opulences, which is ṣaḍ-vargikaṁ. The prime difference between the Lord and the living entities is that the Lord is the creator and the living entities are the created. Here he is called as amogha-līlaḥ. Another meaning of amogha-līlaḥ. One meaning of amogha-līlaḥ is that he is spotless. Second is, which indicates that there is nothing lamentable in his creation. Both aspects. Very beautiful. We were studying this in our Bhakti Vaibhav, that the Lord is spotless. So whatever he conducts or whatever he creates is also spotless. His creation is also in this material world. So he says there is, which indicates that there is nothing lamentable in his creation. Those who create disturbance in his creation are themselves disturbed. He is transcendental to all the material afflictions because he is full with all 6 opulences, namely wealth, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. And thus he is the master of the senses. He creates this manifested universe in order to reclaim the living beings. Very important. Prabhupada is giving the purpose. He creates this manifested universe in order to reclaim the living beings who are within them suffering the threefold miseries. He maintains the universes and in due course annihilates them without being the least affected by such actions. He is connected with this material creation very superficially. As one smells odor without being connected to the odorous article. Non-godly elements therefore can never approach him despite all endeavors. Very beautiful. Prabhupada has given a very crisp, sharp purport. And here Prabhupada is giving the purpose of this creation. To reclaim or release the living entities who are suffering within this material creation. Principally in the form of threefold miseries. But he is transcendental completely to this creation of this material world. And it is impossible for anyone to reach him or approach him by any material endeavors. Okay. Is it clear? So, what is being discussed? The qualities of the Supreme Lord is being discussed. This is Krishna Katha. This is being discussed by Srila Sūta Goswami. Any question or any doubt so far? Or we proceed? Yes, Sonika.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have two questions. One I need clarification, Prabhuji. In previous verse, purport, it was mentioned that the difference is that the so-called birth and disappearance. So means here it is, here Prabhupada is mentioning that Lord comes to the material world with his transcendental body, means he appear and disappear, while soul have to take the material body, right, Prabhuji? Just
that is very good. Yeah, because the soul is forced to come in this material world because of his activities. What are his activities? Karma. So his janma is based on his karma. There is a beautiful verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam which says about this. Jantu dehe upate striya pravishta udaram. 1 minute. Let me find out that verse. In Bhagavatam, this principle is given that the living entity is forced to take birth. And what is the factor or the force is his actions, what he has performed. That Krishna speaks in the 8th chapter also, that the living entity takes body according to his actions, according to his karma. Karmana deva netrena jantu dehe upatte striya pravishta udaram. Find out, Manoram Prabhu. Karmana deva netrena jantu dehe upatte. So according to the karma, one is forced, helplessly forced to take body.
Kalian takut duju.
Read 31:1. 3rd canto, 31st chapter, 1st verse. Yeah. So Kapil Dev is explaining to Devahuti mother, but this is the difference. Krishna is not forced to take birth. He appears of his own sweet will. And why he appears? He appears to reclaim and release others. Those who are already entangled in this material world. So Bhagavan Uvacha is a very important principle. Karmana deva netrena. So according to one's karma, and under the supervision of the higher authorities. What are the higher authority? Are the demigods. Deva netrena. Jantu, the living entity, deha upapatte. He is given a suitable body. And how he appears? See, what is the difference? Striya pravishta udaram. He comes in the womb of his mother. And how he comes in the womb of his mother? Pumsa reta kanashraya. Through the semen of his father. Come down. The personality of Godhead said under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. Not directly Supreme Lord, according to the administrators who were appointed by the Supreme Lord, the demigods. And according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of the male semen to assume a particular type of body. So this is the difference. This is major difference. You can close the screen share. So the difference in the appearance and the activities is that the living entity is forced to take birth. He is helpless. He cannot do anything about it. But the Supreme Lord appears out of his own will to release. Okay, so this is the major difference. What is the second question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Second question was from second purport. It was mentioned that he creates these manifested universe in order to reclaim the living being. What does it mean, Prabhuji?
Reclaim, to release them, to bring them back again to the spiritual world.
Okay, got it, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So that is also mentioned in many places in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his song says, Gopinath, what he says? Jivere Karan. What is the line, Devadatta? Jivere Karan. Asiya prapanche. Lila kailo suvistaro. You remember the verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What is it?
This one, Prabhuji. Jivera karana asya prapanche. Lila kailo suvistar.
Jivere Karan Asiya prapanche. And Lila kailo suvistar. So that they can be attracted and they can be again reclaimed back. Jivere Karan Asiya prapanche Lila kailo suvistar. Okay. So very important. I was just studying in the morning. One moment, I will be having that. I'll share with you. 1 second. Oh, 1 minute. Here it is. Okay, I'll share. This is a verse I have to speak 2 days later. So here it is. It is again in continuation of what we heard from Kapil Dev, that Karmana Dev Netrena. So before that, he is mentioning, thus always merged in devotional service, the yogi visualizes the Lord standing, moving, lying down, or sitting within him. For the pastimes of the Supreme Lord are always beautiful and attractive. So Prabhupada is giving this purport and he's saying, Prabhupada says that, for example, even a child can hear and derive the benefit of meditating on the pastime of the Lord. simply by listening to and reading from Bhagavatam that describes the Lord as he is going on the pasturing ground with the cows and his friends. Hearing includes applying the mind. Very important. Prabhupada is defining what it means to hear. Hearing includes applying the mind. In the age of Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya has recommended that one should always engage in chanting and hearing Bhagavad Gita. The Lord also says that the Mahatmas or great souls always engage in the process of chanting the glories of the Lord. And just by hearing, others derive the same benefit. I am again reading. Please put attention. Prabhupada is saying hearing means including applying the mind. The Lord says that the Mahatmas or great souls always engage in the process of chanting and glories of the Lord. This is the verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Which verse is this? Very famous verse. Big hint is given here. Catch that hint. Bolo, which verse is this? Very famous verse. Prabhupada is given the translation of that verse here. Now you can see, you can appreciate how authoritative are Srila Prabhupada's purport. Because in purport he is quoting Bhagavad Gita. When we were studying Bhakti Vaibhav, so one of our teachers, very kindly gave us this understanding how to be able to see Prabhupada's purport. Prabhupada is quoting so many other verses in his purports. Even in his normal, without quoting the verses, he is quoting the verses. Bolo? You should be knowing this verse. This verse is very important verse. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrata. So what is Mahatma? The Mahatma is satatam kirtayanto mam. He is always 24/7 is engaged in glorifying. Oh, sorry. So the Lord says that the Mahatmas or great souls always engage in the process of chanting and glory. So see, let's see how it is. It is satatam kirtayanto mam. Always engage in the process of chanting and glories of the Lord. And Prabhupada is giving this benediction just by hearing. Others derive the same benefit. Others are not able to satatam kirtayanto mam. They are not on that platform. But how to come on that platform? Just by hearing, others derive the same benefit. Yoga necessitates meditation on the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, whether he is standing, moving, or lying down, etc. Okay. So hearing is so very important. And what to speak of hearing means including applying the mind in it. If we are spaced out, then there is no hearing. Hearing is done with the heart. There are many, many depths and dimensions to hearing. And one can only be able to hear when he has very, very positive relationship with the speaker. Otherwise, one cannot hear. In so many years, I have very clearly seen that. Unless and until there is a very solid positivity, one cannot hear. Even a trace of negativity come, hearing is blocked. One will not be able to hear. Why? Because it's such a powerful program. Prabhupada is saying, that what the Mahatmas are doing, the hearer, if he does hear from them, he'll get the same benefit. Such is the potency of Krishna Katha, the Krishna Vani. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Any further question or discussion? Bolo. Read, hear, write, repeat. Hear, read, write, and repeat. Little editing is required, Manoram Prabhu. Somehow I could not get time today. When you send, please just once again read it. You will be able to detect what is required. 90% of it you will be able to know. Very little is required, but it requires little editing. So please edit both and send it to me. I'll post both of them. Thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.